New videos every day.
Hi, I'm Radia Gleese. I'm a certified clinical nutritionist.
And I'm Peter McCarthy. I'm a certified traditional naturopath.
And this is Wake Up America. And Peter, we're going to talk about health freedom today. And let's first talk about the present health paradigm, which really isn't a health paradigm, is it? It's a disease management system. And there's so much going on right now in the political arena about the healthcare system and what are we going to do about the healthcare system. And basically, either candidate right now is simply talking about who's going to front the bill for drugs, surgery, medication, and really sponsoring and supporting your disease. Right? Which
Absolutely.
Is not a healthcare system.
No, it's not.
So what a lot of people aren't aware of is they're not aware that your health freedom or freedom to get educated on your health, how to learn how to stay healthy, preventative wellness, etc., is being threatened, right?
Yes, it is.
So why don't you tell us what's going on?
Sure. Well, in this country, we've gotten used to, in virtually every state, to be able to walk into a health food or natural product store and to be able to walk up to a member of the staff and get information on a natural product or a supplement that we think is going to help improve our health. At the same time, we feel free to walk into the office of virtually any kind of healthcare practitioner that we might select so that we could use whatever type of health care we need. Problem is, all of that is being threatened and it is in very serious danger of being taken away. And here's what I mean by that. There are three organizations or three groups of organizations that are involved with trying to transform the healthcare system in this country to their own financial interest. We've talked about some of them before: Big Food, Big Pharma, and the medical establishment. And in many cases, they work in concert to achieve their collective objectives. Now, there's a two-pronged strategy that they're following here in the country as well as around the world. Most people who are interested in health and healthcare know about what's going on at the federal level. They know, for example, that there's a commission sponsored by the UN called Codex Alimentarius that is trying to take away from people the right to be able to choose the natural products that they put into their bodies and transfer control of that to the medical establishment. And of course, that's being driven by the interests of Big Pharma.
And okay, and just we are going to touch on the Codex, but not in this video too much. But certainly there's a correlation with the World Trade Association or the World Trade Organization and the trade agreements that are pretty much being globalized right now. And Codex is very, very much involved in the laws that are being designed by the World Trade Organization, and eventually, if we're not careful and watching that, the United States government and our Constitution will be ineffective to really override those laws. So we will be getting into the Codex issue in another video. So stay tuned. But what else, Peter? There's a couple others.
Well, that really forms the backdrop, Roddy, as you well know, for the FDA's efforts is what they call normalization, because they want to make the health laws that govern healthcare in this country the same as virtually every other country around the world. And a big part of that is to progressively restrict access to complementary and alternative medicine, natural and alternative healthcare. But there's, and I should have mentioned that they have some very influential allies in the U.S. Congress and in the executive branch to help them achieve those goals. But there's another prong to this strategy, and that's what's happening in the individual states. These same groups, Big Pharma, Big Food, and the medical establishment, also want to enact this same agenda in each of the individual states. And the way they do that, of course, is to attempt to get laws passed within the state legislatures that support these objectives. An example being, and we've mentioned this in one of our other videos, that the American Dietetic Association, which supports Big Food, it's the front organization for Big Food, really wants to corner the market for nutritional counseling. Well, what would that mean? It would mean that if, say, for example, here in Texas, the dietitians passed that kind of law, you wouldn't be able to come to see me for nutritional counseling or Radia because it'd be against the law. You wouldn't have that choice. At the same time, for natural products retailers, they are continually eroding the ability of those retailers to provide you, the consumer, with valid, scientifically provable information on the benefits and uses of the products they sell off their shelves. So we're seeing slowly but surely these freedoms to choose on a number of different fronts being restricted. And that's really what we're trying to get across is it's going on right now, and there's some things that you can do about it.
Yeah, we will be talking in the next few videos coming up this week. We are going to be talking about what you can do, what's really going on in your state, what's going on in the state of Texas, how you can get involved. And it is very important that you get involved. I mean, Peter, obviously, our health, we all have a common denominator, regardless of what side of the fence you're on, what kind of political sway you are. We have a common denominator, and that is our health, right? And
absolutely.
And our freedom. And why is it so important for us to protect our health freedoms?
Well, when you look at it, the freedom to choose the type of health care that we access as individual citizens is our most precious asset. Our health is our most precious asset. And so as a result of that, our freedom to choose is one of our most fundamental rights. So it's really up to us as individual citizens to make sure that we stay aware and that we take the appropriate action to be able to safeguard that most precious of rights.
Yeah, so stay tuned. Make sure that you subscribe. If you haven't subscribed already, you can also go to the Texas, spelled out, TexasHealthFreedom.com. And that is our website. You can read more about what's going on. Even if you're not in the state of Texas, it's important for you to know. As you know, Texas is a big state. These big organizations that we mentioned are watching what happens with the legislature in Texas because it will set precedents in the other states. So what Texas is doing, what California is doing, it's very, very important for you to keep an eye out on these states because it will reflect in your state if you're outside of these states, right?
That's right, absolutely.
Okay. All right, so stay tuned for upcoming videos. We're really going to get into some of these issues and let you know what's going on the state legislature and also on the national scene. Okay?
Okay.
Thanks, Peter.
Thanks.
We'll see you next time.
So long, folks.
If you liked this video, we have hundreds of more alternative videos ranging from sexual health to psychology to mind control. So if you liked it, go ahead and click on me to enter the Psychetruth channel.